Detective Conan World, 50 Lanchu, from the Time and Space Management Bureau, who was fixed as a bug. No CP, single love female lead, police academy team kicking bento Xinlan He, others be. The female protagonist has more than one emotional connection, but she won't fall in love with them other outsiders besides the female lead very diverse, both male and female add many private devices. Chapter 1. The 50 Lands Massacre. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 2. Under the 50 Lands Massacre. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 3. Moon meets inside. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. Collapse, mental collapse. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. 50 Lanchu. Little abnormal. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Belmud. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. World Consciousness. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. How long have I been sleeping? It's been almost a day now. Has it been a day? Dong 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 dong. 50 Lan rubbed her face, opened the door, and saw Yu Jian holding a steamed bun in her mouth, snacks in one hand, and milk in the other. Why does the door seem to be bent, brother Yulian? 50 Lan glanced at Yu Jian and called out sweetly behind him. Yu Jianli handed the milk to Xinlan and freed her hand to pick up the bun in her mouth. Nah, strawberry milk, Belmud said. What do you kids like the most? There are also some small snacks. Yu Jianli walked into 50 Lan's room on her own, placed a pile of snacks on the table, and casually found a seat to sit down. Don't you drink it? Try it, it tastes great. It's not poisonous, right? That big sister seems to want my life. The room fell into a eerie silence, and needles could be heard falling. 50 Lan was the first to break the eerie atmosphere and took a few sips. Still. Quite delicious. Yu Jianli stood up and walked up to 50 Lan, then crouched down and touched 50 Lan's hair, smiling gently. It's good if you like it. Yu Jianli saw 50 Lan staring at him foolishly, with a slightly imperceptible curl of his mouth. I've been quite busy catching mice lately, so you just stay inside. Do you hear me? Long Island iced tea, Qin Jiu coldly exclaimed. I'm leaving now. Before leaving, Yu Jianli didn't forget to rub a handful of 50 Lan's hair. The door was slammed shut by Qin Jiu, and 50 Lan foolishly touched the hair that Yu Jianli had touched. For a long time, damn it, using a beauty trick, 50 Lan drank milk in a puff of anger, calling out the Chuanin Jian. The consciousness of the big world, isn't it just the heavenly way? Indeed, a small part of the heavenly way is all stubborn and stubborn. This time it's not a disturbance, it's still so stubborn and inflexible. 50 Lan quickly finished drinking the milk in one gulp and placed it next to the table. 208162, before that. Did anyone else come here? The silver-layered kitten held its chin with its paws, looking thoughtful. Some, but the outcome is very tragic. The crime rate in this world is too high, and the timeline gradually becomes chaotic after the real protagonist appears. Of course, this is partly due to our reasons. Therefore, they go crazy, die crazy, and become insignificant cannon fodder in this world. Those who die will always experience the process of death. Is the heavenly way here so crazy? In fact, this world is also owned by Baihang. Baihang, a very miserable heavenly Tao, lost 3 out of his dozen or so small worlds due to his paintings, and other small worlds were affected. Therefore, it is not unreasonable for him to dislike outsiders. After all, once bitten by a snake, 10 years afraid of a well rope. He hasn't personally thrown Wazeku out now, probably because he saw Wazeku busy trying to save those 3 small worlds back then. He just cast a spell that made people want to sleep. He expected her to ask her past colleagues about the outcome in order to drive away Wazeku. Since it's a spell casting, that means it can be solved. As long as it can be solved, there's no problem. 50 Lan made up her mind to stay, but she was not a medical student. She still had to hand over this kind of thing to a professional, summon a transmission slip, and seek help from her fellow junior sister in the Time and Space Management Bureau. I didn't originally want to trouble my junior sister who was far away in the Time and Space Management Bureau, but Hua Zeku was a swordsmanship practitioner and didn't know how to develop antidotes. Under the suppression of 50 lands, there was no obvious drowsiness, but she felt like she was going to mold after staying indoors for several consecutive days. Yu Jianli does not allow her to leave and go out, and there are no toys to pass the time. Fortunately, there are enough snacks. She also had her mind out several times to check the terrain, but unfortunately there were too many surveillance cameras and no blind spots, and there were no opportunities for occasional visitors. After an unknown number of days, Yu Jianli returned to the apartment exhausted, and of course, Qin Jiu was also there. 50 Lan was extremely excited. She looked forward to the stars and the moon, finally bringing them back. 50 Lan rushed up to give Yu Jianli a hug. Just as she was about to embrace Yu Jianli, Qin Jiu directly pulled her into her arms. 50 Lan awkwardly sat back in her seat, wanting to say something. After glancing at the Jin, she pinched her hand and said, "Can I still read Long Island iced tea?" After speaking, she glanced at Qin Jiu again. Qin Jiu looked back at 50 lands with satisfaction and then looked at Yu Jianli in her arms. In no time, I sat up in Yuejian. Do I need to take you home in Chapter 8? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 9. Strange Emotions. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 10. Blue is better than blue. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text.